and gentlemen, welcome to the House of Commons. My name is Pascal Atuma, and to my left,
Suraya Issa.
Suraya Issa.
Vidi Rival.
Ola George.
Guys, welcome to the House of Commons.
Welcome.
Yes. Alright, my sister, you have anything against us?
You gotta drink your tea.
I take a little sip.
I know you don't have anything against us,
Mine
right?
is very cold today.
Cold tea.
Alright, thank you all for staying with us. This is the House of Commons, and like we said last week and last 2 weeks, we are not going by choosing topics based on what we get from the fans.
Fan comments.
Yeah, fan comments, feedback from the fans. So one of our fans, all the way from Russia, says that she wants us to do a show called Man versus Woman. What is the problem when anytime there's a relationship that involves a man and a woman, that's always a problem that she said, why can't we get along? Can you guys analyze it, take it up? And then she gave instances like brother versus sister, they can get along. If it's a relationship where it's girlfriend and boyfriend, it's a problem. If it's a relationship where it's husband and wife, it's a problem. Co-workers, men versus women in the office, is a problem. So she said, why can't we get along? I'm gonna start with a woman. Let's just start with Ola.
I have a feeling.
Let me ask you a question.
Why can't we get
Ola, how can we get along? Which one you go? You read the article, right? You read her now. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
So I can't pronounce your name, Vala something from Russia. You see, we're about to do your topic. All right.
Okay. Well, for me right now, with regards to the topic of man versus woman, that it's a loaded topic, as we all know. You know what I mean? We all, as they say, there was books written about this historically regarding, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and all of these different concepts to say like, why do women think this way and why do men think that way? So for me, it's a loaded topic. But for me, at the end of the day, I think that doesn't really matter what your point of view is on the topic. There's still going to be a butting heads between a male and female. I think there's always still going to be
no matter what relationship.
I think no matter what relationship, and you just have to learn how to deal with them maturely so that you guys can overcome it. Especially when it comes to a relationship that you're trying to retain, like a marriage, a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, your family, your friends. You know what I mean? Co-workers, you gotta see them every day. You know what I mean? But to me, the whole topic of men versus women, you know what I mean? There's the old version of how people thought about, kind of woman as the housewife. She must stay at home. She must be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. And, the man must go out and bring home the meat. And, like just that archaic kind of way of thinking. But now we live in a day and age that the woman, we're equal. And that's the key. The key in this day.
We live in what?
We are equal. Equal rights.
Continue.
So to me, that's the highlight for us in the modern world, is that we're equal. But yes, we sometimes don't see that with our pay. We may not see that with society. We may not see that within the positions that unfortunately is out there. But that's what we're all pushing every single day to improve it. Whether you're a female as an adult, or you're a man that supports the woman's plight, or even a father who has little daughters, you want to ensure that you instill the right things into your daughter, that she could be the woman in this modern world. So my thing is this, because it kind of, as we touch on it, it reminds me of the topic of feminism almost. It reminds me of the topic of, pros and cons against it. And I think, I think chivalry's not dead. Chivalry's alive. I want him to open the door for me. I still want him to do these different things and treat me like a lady. I treat him like a gentleman, but I want my equal pay. I want my equal rights. I still want to do all the things that I want to do and more. That's my thought.
Very good. Now, when I saw this mail first, she said this on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
When I saw this one, I looked at it and said, this topic now, wow. But now, with Ola going first, now I see, okay, it's not my turn yet to go.
Yeah. Every time you always do this, it's not my turn yet to go. If you want to go, you can go.
Go, it's not my turn yet, go.
Yeah, there's a meme I saw a long time ago. It has this big book, and it says how to understand a woman, right? It's a big page, and then they open the book. It's like it's just empty pages. Like there's nothing you can. It's like everything inside is just empty. So again, I mean, you cannot really understand women from a man's perspective. It's so hard. Like this topic is kind of broad because it's so hard to understand women, and it's a different dimensions to it. And the same way women says it's so hard to understand men, right? So I mean,
not necessarily. Actually, I don't know.
I think, men, our life is just easy. Like we want to hunt. We're trained to be. We're trained to be hunters. Like what I mean, hunters. We hunt for food. We hunt to provide for our families. We hunt for the woman. We hunt for the girl alike. That's our mentality, right?
You also hunt for things you're not supposed to hunt.
You hunt for things you're not supposed to hunt for. Right? You know, we hunt for superiority. We want to be the alpha male. You know, so that's men. That's our mentality. We're just hunters. Like we're alpha male. And women are, traditionally women are meant to be nurturers, like you said earlier. They are meant to nurture and care for the home. That was like the traditional view. Yeah. But unfortunately now we live in a society where the ties have turned, like the tables have turned. Like, you know, women want to, like we see women proposing to men. That's an idea that I don't even like. Like, I mean, let me be the hunter. Don't come hunt for me, right? You know what I'm saying? If a woman should propose to me, in my head I'm like, I don't know. I don't. You guys can, You guys can speak on that since we're talking about feminism, right? You guys can speak on that.
Traditional,
and that's the problem. Women want traditionalism. They want the man to be the. Let me go. Hold on. They want the man to be the man, and they want equal. And they at the same time, when you be the man, they kind of push you back. They want equality. And I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be an actual real equality between a man and a woman. I mean, the audience can really debate about this on the comment section. So, Pascal, you can.
Okay. Thank you very much, but Suraya, please, can you shed light on this man versus woman?
Yeah. Man versus woman, man versus man, woman versus woman.
Yeah.
I think this is a really just as you said, it's a quite broad topic.
It is broad topic. It is a broad topic.
But I think there's definitely difference between men and women.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, naturally, physically, emotionally, intellectually. I think we are all equal.
Lord of Jesus. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, intellectually, I think we are actually equal in so many aspects. Traditionally, women, probably there are some places where women are not allowed to go to school. You are only to be educated informally at home, how to take care of your husband, how to take care of the family and whatnot. But with society progressing, if you look at the history of feminism, and I think there's still women up to today, they are still fighting to break the glass ceiling, trying to get to the top. Even in Western countries like Canada, for instance, not a lot of CEO are women, right? So women are still trying to break through to come through to break the glass ceiling. But you still find a lot of women that are doing a lot better than men, actually. Yeah, there are women that own companies, for example. I have a company, I have a clothing line, I have a jewelry line, I work full time, you know. So all this, probably 100 years ago, this would have been possible, right? So I think there's a difference. The difference I can say between men and women is that naturally, maybe biologically, there is a difference there, but you still see even in sports, women in soccer, there are women soccer players, there are women wrestlers, hockey, and I'm going to use Canada again during the Olympics. It was the women team that brought the gold home, right? So
men brought gold home too. Men brought gold home too. It's not just women.
But the women's team is very good.
Okay, it's your turn. I forgot.
So so this is a really broad topic. It's a good topic. And I think it's women are also competitive. They have the same competitive nature as men. We plan better than men. We plan better. We actually, most of the women, I can say, they handle difficult situations differently. they think that women are emotional, but that is what makes them think and come through certain things, right? So I think to say man versus woman, I still think women, we got it going.
Absolutely.
In so many ways,
so
many ways, we got it going.
Is it my turn now?
You got it.
Let's hear what Mr. Pascal has to say.
Okay, I'm gonna look straight to the camera and say this one. We already know it's a woman's word, right?
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
The main problem in this world, woman. Women are the problem we have in this world. Without women, I'm being real. This lady from Russia asked the problem. Why can't we get along? That's what she said, and I'm answering her. Why we can't get along? My sister in Russia is you people. Women, you people are the problem, and I'm going to analyze it. It's my turn, right?
Well, so let's say
I'm going to analyze it one by one. Women, sometimes they are domestic terrorists. Whether they're your sister in the house, they want to control you. Okay, let me give you, for example, my little daughter, 5 years old. 5 years old. This little girl, if you see this girl questioning me, you will not believe it. I'll give you an example. I'm in the gym, my phone rings, boom. It's my daughter on a WhatsApp video call. I answer the call. Hey baby, I'm walking out, daddy's walking out, I'll call you back. No daddy, you can still walk out and talk to me. I said, baby, no, I can't walk out and talk to you because people are going to be hearing what we're saying. Daddy, there's something that they call earpiece. Don't you have your earpiece? I said, baby, I don't have my earpiece. Daddy, you should always be with your earpiece in case I call.
She's right though.
5 years old, right? 5 years old. I said, okay, baby, baby, you know, your daddy loves you, but I gotta go, I gotta finish this workout. Daddy, can you place this somewhere? Let me watch you walk out. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, 1 minute. I place it. 1 minute go, right? I said, boom. I said, daddy, no. I said, baby, I gotta go. Bam. You see, what is the problem there? She already, from 5 years old, tries to control her daddy. And when she gets about 16, 17, get a boyfriend, what is she going to do? Control the boyfriend. Control the boyfriend. When she married, what's she going to do? Control the husband. You see, that is where our major problem comes from in this world, my sister. Then, number two. So, it's my turn to go, right?
You already go.
It's your turn. It's your turn.
Okay, number two. Women have this notion that they are always more intelligent.
True, very true. Yeah.
Your little sister might be 4 or 5 years younger than you, but she, even before she make any contribution, she already believes in her head that her contribution is better than yours.
It's the best.
And there's one thing: if you want to have peace, find a way to accept that contribution.
Or else there will not be so.
Because there's a different way of looking at it.
Hold on. I'm talking about sister, not girlfriend.
I know.
Find a way of accepting that contribution, or else there won't be peace in that house.
Brother, sister. That's brother, sister.
But I said, they might pretend there's peace, but there's really no peace. Don't even take it to the girlfriend-boyfriend level. That one, you're finished.
You gotta learn the lesson from the brother, sister stage. So
then,
you're okay.
you go into the husband-wife situation.
Yeah.
My dad was a big boy. Married to this young woman, right? My mom was about 9 years younger than my dad. But this woman, my dad thinks, walk around and boom, boom, bam, but this man was in control. And anytime my mom don't get her way, you people will feel it.
You'll feel
Because
it. You'll feel it.
even the taste of the food in the house will tell you that you people messed with the wrong person.
You upset her.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna come more. Let me give you a chance to go. But my sister in Russia, that is the problem. What is the problem, man? What can we get along? It's you people. It's not us. Yes, it's not us.
That's his point of view.
That's my point of view. So I really want us to go deep into this. Wow, you're sitting on the fence. You're trying to play. Hold on. Wow, you just heard all I said. Say something, attack us.
They attacked we as the problem.
And the problem. And you were
I'm just on the fence.
Hold on, and you were sitting on the fence. Right?
You know what?
Respect yourself.
You know what? I work with a lot of women. I don't want to lose my job.
Smart.
Oh, Lord.
He's smart. I told you.
Okay, this is a
He's learned the life lesson. He's learned the life lesson. That listen, it's better to work with us than work against us.
At the end of the day, at the end of the day, Pascal, we cannot win. You know what? Let me come in. Even in your relationship, like you just said, no matter how hard, like for me, I'm not a person. I'm not a very confrontational person. Like, I don't like to argue too much or talk too much. But if my partner does something wrong, right, and I'm trying to make her see her point, brother, you know the story. I will have to actually accept that I am wrong, and knowing that she's wrong, for me to have peace sometimes.
So that is the problem then. That is the problem we're talking about, because unless you agree to accept,
but again,
then there will be no peace.
but again, it goes both ways, right?
It does.
It goes both ways. We too, you know, I'm still on the fence. We too. I don't want to get kicked out of the house, so I have to say this. We too.
That's not the truth. That's your peace.
We too. We have our own problem.
Okay,
we too. We have our
I'm
own
sure.
problem.
My sister in Russia, you're watching, so you're getting your answer, right? Okay, go ahead.
Men too have their own problem.
You don't want to get.
We don't. Sometimes we are too stubborn. We don't want to listen.
Thank you.
And that's the truth.
Exactly.
Right? We don't want to listen. And women say it like, oh my God, this guy is so stubborn. Like, I'm trying to make you see this point. You don't want to see this. But at the end of the day, it's two different point of views.
Yeah.
It's women reason with, again, I think the left side of their brain. Men reason with the right side of their brain. So there's always going to be a clash. Right? But not until we found the common ground.
Which is where we're going now.
For us to have
yeah,
peace.
she asked the question. She said, "What can we do to get along? No matter if it's a brother-sister relationship, a husband-wife, a girlfriend, boyfriend."
Let me start with brother-sister relationship, because we're all fortunate to have brothers and sisters. Thank God. Some people have just brothers, some have just sisters. But if you have a brother-sister relationship, I mean, I think for you to have peace within that brother-sister relationship, you need to compromise. A lot of compromise. Like for the sister needs to compromise certain things to try to understand where the brother is coming from. The brother needs to compromise and also try to understand the sister's point of view and let them meet at the middle ground. Say you're arguing about, and the parents too has a role to play.
Oh,
traditionally.
Absolutely.
In my household, I know that growing up, boys usually don't wash the dishes. They put the girls, like my sisters, okay, that's your job, right? Boys will, you know, sometimes our job is probably go to work with our father, you know, help out with the business and stuff. The girls, they stay home, they do the cooking. And there was a clash with my sisters because sometimes they don't want to cook. It's like, oh, why am I the one cooking? Why can't the boy? Why can't Valentine cook? You know, he's a boy. And me, I'm like, oh, cooking is for women. Cooking, you know, and not until
you'll get a lot of trouble with that one.
Not until hunger finished me, brother. I went to the kitchen and I started learning how to cook. And then, you know, we compromise and understand that, okay, you're tired, it's okay, I'll cook for today. And why don't you go to the store with daddy? Why don't you go handle daddy's business? And then, you know, we began to understand ourselves, you know, so compromise. Brother-sister relationship. I'll let Ola go and see.
What could be done to have peace? Boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, what could be done to have peace?
To have peace. I want to touch what Valentine touched on because I think the root of all of this is stemming from the first relationships that we had, male and female, whether it be with your mother, whether it be with your father, whether it be with your brother, whether it be with your sister. The first,
like my relationship with my daughter.
Exactly. That's her first now relationship with a man.
It's right to manipulate you.
Exactly. But the key is what he was saying there regarding the situation is that the understanding must start there.
The traditional rules.
Because we no longer, and I understand, the old norms are no longer the norms. The residue of it's still there, but we're in the modern time. And when I say the modern time, I do recognize all the things that we as women are still pushing against. But the key is this. Now, you may have a daughter. That daughter may be the one that's smarter, that should be running your business as a father.
That's true.
Do you understand? So now as a parent, you now have to identify.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about her being smarter than you yet. I'm talking about, like, let's say, for example, you have
a boy and a
three
girl,
children,
right?
or say you have a boy and a girl, two different children. You want to teach them both equally all things, right? So, for example, my father raised me that I knew how to, I knew all the house stuff. I knew how to cook, clean, wash clothes. Because my mom was like, she's not having my daughter in this house that doesn't know to do all of those things. Because you must, as a woman, to come to the table with it. But my brother learned those things as well, but he learned after. The priority was, I was the first girl, so I must know all first.
Yeah.
But then he also had housework in the house and stuff like that. But the key is this. My father, before I could start driving, I had to know how to change oil, change a tire, drive backwards for blocks. So holding back, driving backwards for blocks, otherwise I wouldn't be able to drive. Because he wanted to teach the principles. But as he kept teaching me about the tools and all these different things, I still was a girly girl, still loved my toys, still love all these different things. But a new aspect of me evolved. And a lot of my business, because as you were discussing earlier, I have multiple businesses, and everything that I do, a lot of it is stemming from some of my father's characteristics, some of his organization, some of the ability to multitask and all those things. That's really my father. My mother there's benefits there too. So the key is this: if he didn't take the time to think, oh, that's just a girl child, that's only for my brother to learn, then he would have done a disservice to me because of the things that I could do now. In my interior design, I lift up tables, I tote load, then when I have to be prissy, I'll be in front of the PR stuff, in front of cameras. So I'm well-rounded. So this day and age, women need to be well-rounded, whether it be in the boardroom, whether it be, I know females right now, she's the mechanic for planes.
Yeah.
So she's the head mechanic for when you jump in a plane. I believe it's WestJet. I can't remember which one, but she's the head mechanic. So before that plane takes off, your life is in a woman's hands. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it's traditionally not a woman's industry.
That's right.
But that's what's happening. The changes are happening. But the key is this: that brother, again, using VDD, recognizing that, hey, it's not just a woman's job, it's our job. It's a family. Sometimes the mom is going to work and the dad's going to work now. So the brother and sister need to work together, because then that's going to translate to your husband and wife and your boyfriend girlfriend relationships. And that's my concern, because if you are brought up in a household that men do this, women do that, you potentially will have problems with every relationship going forward, unless the man has evolved thinking. Because if you keep telling me that my only position is in the kitchen, we're going to have a huge problem, because I have so much to offer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, a young girl to want to go into a relationship with a man like that, I would say be very hesitant. That's why pick a partner that's similar to what you believe, similar to your values, because otherwise you will butt head. So the question of what the girl, in Russia was talking about, why, is because first and foremost, does he have a similar value structure as you? Does he have a similar belief as you?
You mean when they transfer
in the
to
relationship?
Yeah,
in the relationship, because co-worker, and there's so much areas for this. But one of the key for me with this is that people say women are more emotional. But the funny thing is, there's an aspect of women that we have emotions, but we also have the clear logic. Yeah. So right now we could be weighing up 10 things at the same time. Like we women, we have the ability to have one baby on a hip here, the earpiece in the ear, conducting business while the pot's going, while you hear the next child in the next room, and the ability to do all of that. A man can do all of that now, and he's no less of a man, because now sometimes men are the ones that are at home with the children. But the key is this: the notion, I think people do women a disservice when they think, oh, we're so focused on the emotion that we're logically no good. It's a lie. We have the ability to feel the deepest part of pain or love, and then at the same moment be so strong and understand about what the right choice is, when it hurts, or when it feels good. So just that ability, and I think that every man and every woman should recognize that a man brings wonderful things to the table, but we women bring amazing things to the table.
That is where the problem is.
We want it all.
You see, that's the problem. That is where.
That's the problem.
And I hear you saying.
Okay, can I come in?
Go in, Pascal. Yeah.
All right. See, what you just said there is where the major problem lies.
Go ahead.
That means automatically you already assume that you guys
got it wrong.
Because we do. Even we don't. I'm being honest. Even when we don't say it, half of the time we women, we don't say it. It's we hold our cards to our chest. Because we're supposed to hold our cards to our chest. You know, like any game player, hold the cards to your chest. But at the same time, underlying, we know inside of ourselves that we're supporting the man. Whether he thinks we're behind him, we're not. We're actually propping up his back to make him look good. Right. Fix his shirt, make you look good. Give him like, babes, you know what? Honestly, I think that business deal with that person may not be the best person. You know what I mean? But the world doesn't know I said that to him. Yeah. He now goes in front and does whatever he has to do.
But you see, we need to tackle this problem from the roots.
Okay.
From the foundation.
Yeah.
So, as a young girl, you already grew up thinking in your head, right, that you do more than the man, you are more important than the man, you have more. Hold on.
It's self-love.
It's my turn.
Okay.
You are more responsible than the man. You have more chores to do than the man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you're even going into a relationship with a boyfriend, not knowing the boyfriend's background and how he was brought up.
You better learn quickly.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And how he was brought up, you already assume that you are bringing more to the table. Indirectly.
Not necessarily.
Val, am I lying? Is that not what you said?
No, that's not what I said. I just want to throw something in there. That's not what I said. I'm not going to take it from you. I just want to let you know that's not really what I said.
But that's his problem, though. That's the problem.
It's self-love.
Let him talk. That's the problem he's saying. You guys don't give us chance. It's a start.
He's coming off the fence. He's coming off the fence.
You see part of the problem? My sister, you see part of the problem? Right? Now, so what of? I'll give you an example. You just said your dad taught you how to do that. My mom taught us how to do everything that our sisters can do.
Yeah. I think that's the way it should be.
Do you understand? We have 4 boys and 3 girls. Oscar can cook. Stanley can cook better than most women that I've met in my life. Nick can cook to survive.
But he can do it.
Nick can cook to survive, but not my choice of person to go and eat.
And what Pascal cook?
Pascal, I can cook for you not to die.
So you're like this.
Yeah. I'm right on that 55%, 60%. But I know that I can survive.
Doing something else in the kitchen.
You talk about your mom making the women wash dishes, and in your house, women wash the dishes and In our house, we had a lot of servants, right? But guess what? There's like a schedule.
Yes.
Well, my dishwashing day was always Wednesdays, and that's the day I always start trouble. Because I don't like washing dishes. So I want anything I can do to get away
from washing dishes.
Because we're divided like 1 man with 2 women or 2 men. We're divided according to the numbers. Because we had a lot of my mom's sisters, my mom's relatives living in our place, and my dad's relatives, plus the other people that serve my father, right? My father had a building materials business. So most of those people that work in the building store, they live with us too, right? So, but everything was divided. So there was days, if it's your turn to be in the kitchen with my mom, right? My mom would just sit down and direct you. If you watch some of my movies, I actually played it out in, I think it was Hurricane in the Rose Garden. Yes. Or Koto the Messenger, that I used that to write the script. So she would just sit down when it's your turn, or 2 of you to help. One person will be doing this, one person will do it. She will just sit down and tell you what to do. So that's how we learn how to cook. So we are all trained like that. So if I come in a relationship and the girl is already coming in thinking she's better than me in the kitchen or like you said it, right?
I didn't say
that. Okay, what did you say?
That's not what I said. All I said was self-love. So self-love.
No, it's not self-love.
I'm not going to give you the long version. The short version is it's self-love, meaning that the self-pride to know how to cook, clean, fix a tire, paint a wall, help out in the
do things on your own.
Doing things on my own. So now coming into any relationship, I bring that to the table. So that's it. He brings what he's bringing to the table, and I want him to, because I'm used to, my father was a jack of all trades. So therefore, we as women, and that's going back to the psychology side of this, we are actually looking sometimes for remnants of our father in our partner. We're looking, and then the man is also looking for remnants of his mother in his female. That's now going to a whole other look. People don't like thinking about that. But there's an aspect. So therefore, when the gentleman I want in my life, I want him to be able to be handy, but also be very smart, book smart, everything, and then be savvy business wise. You know what I mean? And then also cook. And my father cooks.
The requirement is a lot.
No, that's not the requirement. I just want to leave it as this because my father, the same thing you described about your family. My father cooked amazing. My father used to cane around my hair. So that's what I'm saying, because my father was brought up in a household that he had like almost 11 sisters and about 3 brothers. So therefore, he was that modern man.
Hold on, your father came in 11 sisters.
He had about like 11 sisters and then about 3 brothers, and then his mother had a lot of miscarriages.
Your grandfather, eh? Hey!
So I'm not saying that we're better than you guys at all, so please don't hear that.
Okay, can I finish there?
Thank you.
Then let's come into the relationship part. Boyfriend and girlfriend living together, or wife and husband. When I do my stand-up, sometimes I do a routine I call terrorism.
Terrorism.
Home terrorist. A woman and a man married would be at home. The woman is in control of the bedroom. The woman is in control of the kitchen. The woman is in control of the restroom. The woman is in control of the living room. The woman is in control of when you people sleep and when you people wake up. The woman is in control of what you people eat. If she says you people are eating beans and rice today, you people are eating beans and rice.
Did you eat beans today?
No.
I'm glad you asked.
Hold on, I'm coming. Now, if the woman and the man is sleeping in bed, and the man wants to get out and the woman is sleeping very nicely, the man will sneak out. Am I lying? Hold on. But when the woman get up, the woman will just get up and go. Right?
They don't care about you.
They don't care about you. You understand what I'm saying? It is the truth, right? Now, when a man is leaving the bedroom, right? You don't want to wake her up because you want her to get her good sleep. But women, 90% of people don't care.
90%.
Yes, 90. Yes. No, because you see, this thing I've had from my male friends, both rich and poor. That's number 1. Number 2, a woman will just get up now, right? Go somewhere, right? Come back. You ask, baby, where did you go? Oh, I just went to my friend's house, or I just went to buy this, I just want to do this. It's okay. Explanation is finished. Right? It's okay, baby, welcome. You go.
You have to give account to every little.
You go and come back. Right? You have to give detailed account. Detailed account of how many minutes you spend this. So that is the problem, I think. I think women. It's not my experience. I'm sharing the experience of many men out here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, come, go ahead, back.
I mean, I think we have to now look at this in 2 ways: expectations and then individualism, right? So, expectations. Do women expect certain things different? Do women expectations in a relationship or in a marriage, is it different from what a man expectation is in a relationship and a marriage? So, from what I've seen, what I've experienced, I know that there's 2 different expectations. For a man, and to please a man, man's expectations to be happy in a marriage or a relationship, it's not too much. It doesn't take too much to please a man.
It doesn't take much at all.
First thing, be good in bed, give us food, and don't bug us. 3 things, right? We are okay.
And 4 things.
You want to add one more?
Don't go through our phones.
Okay, yeah. So
that's the invention of privacy.
So basically, we want to have our belly. We want peace, right? We want our belly full. When we go to work, we come back. We want to, do and then go to sleep in peace, and then we're fine. The household is good. But women, oh my God, to satisfy them, their expectations, they want equality in
they want to eat their cake and have it back.
They want, I mean, they want you to. they want you to like so many things. Pick up you have to pick up the kids. You have to cook. You have to give detailed accounts of your daily life. You have to support them. If they're sitting down crying and you don't show interest, well, why are you crying? There's a problem. If you don't ask a question, how did your day go at work? How was your day at work today? We don't care if you ask us how our day went at work. We don't. Who cares? Like you have to. They said this is it's the same. You are not emotional enough. You don't care about us. You don't love us. Like it's so complicated to actually understand a woman.
Okay,
but let me ask you a question. He said a ton of things.
Let's go to Suraya.
Let's Suraya.
Suraya, go ahead.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I
ahead,
think,
yeah.
okay, so is this based on your personal
No. It's not just personal experience.
It's general.
I'm basically, by the way, viewers out there, this is generalizing and based on what we see in society.
We always go out to drink with my friends. When this one is complaining, it's like he's complaining for all of us. When this one is complaining, so it's just general.
This is
So
what
you guys
is
do talk
happening.
when you're
Well, man, we talk, of course, we talk about our relationship.
Right, you talk about relationship, but when the females are talking about the relationships or they talk with their female friends about what's going on, you say we're so emotional. We talk about it all the time. But you men talk more than we women, I believe, about these type of things.
Ola, it's not your thought.
I have to throw that in.
Suraya, go ahead.
I think I'm just gonna try to look at it in another point of view. So if you look at political countries or political situation, countries that are governed by women are actually more peaceful. For example, look at the Scandinavian countries. It's mainly women-led. They are far well developed, far advanced, and I feel like women take the same experience as nurturing, the motherhood, caring, to actually bring it to the table when it comes to leadership. And because of that, I think such countries have been doing really well. They've been peaceful for a very long time. And I think if other countries could use that example, I think if a woman could be the leader of the world, I think we will have peace. I feel like women...
Is this a feminist?
No, don't say that.
It's our thought. Let her finish. Hold on. Drink.
Oh no, did she say peace?
No,
We got this complication.
Please continue.
Yeah.
Let's just follow this one.
Women that can get along with each other.
That's why I use the Scandinavian countries as the classic example. They've developed the countries really well. Africa, for example, look at Rwanda. They have the highest number of female parliaments, female MPs in the world. Rwanda has been doing really well after the genocide, and that is another classic example of how having women in leadership roles can actually do good to the country. So again, I believe this is not an assumption. This
That's
is
our
reality.
problem. That's our problem. That's really the problem. Go ahead. No, it's your turn. Yes.
Women are great in leadership. Women are great role models. Women are peacemakers. And I believe if a woman...
Did you say peacemakers?
Peacemakers,
okay.
Yes.
You know what? Okay, let her finish.
I believe if this world give more women chances, even in corporate America, corporate Canada, in Caribbean, all these parts of the world, I feel the world will be a better place. Because women can actually bring something positive to the table. All these...
Why don't you guys just go ahead and get us pregnant?
Soon, I'm sure they're cooking at the cocktail.
Why don't they just go ahead and get us pregnant? Let us get pregnant.
You know what it is? It's almost like you guys, it's almost like the stronger a woman sounds and the more she feels self-love, the more you guys feel like you lose yourself. How are you losing yourself? How are you losing yourself?
We're not, but
She's pointing out
okay, hold on.
But you know what? Oh, sorry.
Okay,
For years.
All I said is man versus woman. Man versus woman. Woman just spoke. Big man one time.
Men were jumping in.
Okay, finish. Go ahead. Man, woman. One man, one woman. Oh, you haven't finished.
You're jumping in again.
Okay, finish.
You're acting like a woman now.
Okay.
I don't know that. That's the thing. See, I'm gonna jump back in now. Because half of the time with this whole male-female thing, and men are talking about men acting like women and women acting like men, it's a lie. Because every woman is, there's no two women that are the same.
Yeah.
There's no two men that are the same.
Let her finish.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I was still using my example of how women or a woman can bring change to the world as peacemakers and in leadership and all that. If we go back to the history, for example, the African history, women before colonialism, women used to be were the one taking the leadership role. Women were the one ruling those countries before colonialism. There's a tribe in Ethiopia, for example. The tribe in Ethiopia, they had a bigger number of women in the army, but there were men in the army. The only time women will be called in when things are getting bad at the war. That's when the woman comes in, and that's going to be the end of it. Because they use everything to conclude, you know. So again, as I'm still going through my conclusion, I believe that all these talks about men versus women, I think we can both work together through compromise and understanding that the difference between men and women, biological or otherwise, for a mutual benefit, if we look at it that way.
Okay, Valentine, please go. Go.
I mean, I'm not going to dispute your fact, and just to say what Ola is saying, men are not scared of a strong woman. And any man that is scared of a strong woman is a weak man. That man needs to go evaluate himself. What we're talking about here is trying to understand the differences between men and women and finding ways to meet at a common ground. I mean, as a man, my priority is to empower my woman, the woman in my life. Like my mom, she's a very strong woman. Whatever I can do to make her achieve, what she's already achieved, or just to support her mission and goals in life, I'll do it. My woman, my wife, my daughters, it's my duty to see that they are empowered. So to achieve what they want to achieve in life, But again, just to round off my conclusion, the difference is between a male species and a female species. Like, it's probably based on genetics, right? Females, you have men, you have the X and Y chromosomes, right? Females, you have the double X, right? So from formation, there's that difference, and there's always going to be difference, like she was saying. But those differences, actually, we can work together and can make the world a better place. For example, look at the movie Black Panther and the place in Wakanda. How women assume leadership. How when that king, was it T'Challa? You guys saw the movie?
Yes.
When that king was being dethroned, how he passed over power to the woman, to the Tinte Queen Okoye and all of that stuff. I mean, we can work together and make the world a better place, right? So and again, I think it's very important that patriarchy mindset that's been ruling the world for a long time needs to slow down a little bit, because I see why feminism kind of sprung up, because women has been suppressed for a very long time. For years, like women are not allowed to vote, women are not allowed to, they don't have a say in a relationship. But with education and time, all these things changes. And thank God, as we are, as men, in our current time, we are knowledgeable enough to see that, okay, these things are not right? So we want to encourage and empower women to achieve certain status with us. But in terms of women overruling men, or trying to come in, and because of that power, that feminism, they become radical, they want to use it against men, then that is a no-no. Like, women need to understand that a man has a certain place in the relationship, and they need to respect that. and not try to jump over it. And the men need to understand that women have a certain place in a relationship, and we need to understand that too. You know, it goes both ways, and once we have that understanding and connection, I think we'll have a good relationship.
Okay, Ola, let's go to your conclusion, please.
Thank you. I have a couple of points that I want to raise that Suraya, when she brought it up a while ago, I want to touch on. She referred to some things in the past and then when she brought it up, you were saying that you don't think so. I just want to add two things to it, then I can get to my conclusion. Two of the things, the Dowmay culture that was out of the Nigerian region where Mali was, the leaders, the women, the warriors that protected the king were all women. Just like how you watch the Black Panther movie, it's taken from that. So that's exactly how it was, and that's not a thought. That's a proven record. Yeah. The Egyptian society was not a patriarchal society, it was a matriarchal society. The women picked the pharaoh. The woman appointed him.
But you're talking about setting just a few out of 1,000.
I'm just dealing with my conclusions, right? But within my conclusions, I want to show something that in the past, the same way there's certain things that she shifted in the world. But in the past, it was not like this. No. There was changes that happened in the world that we're in. We all know this. The Dark Ages, that what Europe calls the Dark Ages, that's when the real shift happened where women needs to be pushed to the background. Yeah. In society, certain cultures, especially within the African continent, the women are revered. Women are not second-class citizens. It's only in Canada and America and certain places in Europe that the women were, why they had to fight for women rights. Yeah. Women, sometimes the Black culture, they really weren't fighting for no rights because they had the rights. The man was never telling them to not speak and not to give their point of view. Do you understand? They were respected, they were well revered. And when I could say a huge society like Egypt, and we all know, if we go that far back, thousands of years, that I'm talking about the woman. Yes, even sometimes the women were pharaohs and stuff like that, but it's not just that. It's the respect level that they had. The elders were females. There was male elders as well, but there was female elders. So it's just that when the whole European Dark Ages happened, a lot of this whole now get women back home and everything like that. Then when the World War I, World War II happened, then the women came in and started to work. And then it's like, no. Well, where are the jobs for the men? Let's push the women back home. That was never our place. It was a well-rounded place. The home, but not just the home, but society. We had places within society.
In Africa or?
I'm speaking. I just gave some statistics regarding Europe. I just gave statistics regarding Egypt. I just gave some statistics regarding the Dowmay culture. And the reason why over here in the European, this is more of a Europeanized Canadian American culture. The root of this feminism stuff and women's rights and stuff like that, it really was being pushed by other cultures. That's why women had to start to fight for their rights, because in those homes it's like women are suppressed, women are not supposed to speak. But in other cultures, the women were revered because half of the time it was the women that were in the household sometimes, and the men went out sometimes, fought in war, passed away, or everything was a little bit different. But to me, just the key coming to the modern time, because that was just the past I brought up, but just to bring it up regarding the modern time, there's a place for women and there's a place for men. That's why God created man and woman. If he wanted all men to be here, he would have created all men. If he wanted all females to be here, he would have created all females. But he didn't. He wanted the diversity. He wanted the butting of heads, the complexity. He wanted for us, because remember, me being the best person I could be in this world, and for example, Valentine being the best man that he can be, that we come together. Exactly. And I need a man in my life as well for those type of things. But if I don't have a man within my life, then I can still excel and still be the
sorry, why do women say I don't need a man?
I didn't say that.
Well,
why does women do that?
That's a topic for
I'm just speaking. I'm single. I'm single. So I have to speak as a single woman. If I was married, I would say something a little bit different. But because as a single woman, I have to say it this way, because even if I'm not in a relationship right now, does that mean I'm less of a woman? That makes no sense. Okay. So I can't push that, especially to the young ladies watching this and the mothers who have, or fathers who have their little daughters. Yeah. I want them to keep pushing the proper mindset, So the key to me is just all work together. Treat your sons and your daughters the same. Put them into sports the same. Let them learn how to cook the same. You know, teach them how your company is the same. So that, for example, then they can make proper choices of what they like from what they don't like. Parents are like, you shoot your kids like an arrow. It's like a bow and arrow. That's what the Bible talks about. You shoot your child like an arrow. It's like a quiver. Out of the quiver, you want to make sure it goes in the right direction. And that's what all of our jobs are. Whether we have nieces and nephews, you know, things like that.
Okay, so that's the conclusion?
That's my conclusion. We can all work together.
Okay, we can all work together.
Pascal, now go ahead. Let's say your conclusion.
My conclusion is this. We don't need male chauvinists. You know what chauvinist is, right? We don't need that. So do we not need feminists? I think you should treat others the way you want to be treated.
Of course, yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you're Ola and you know how you want a man to accept you or a woman to accept you, you should accept the people the same way. Give what you want to receive. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, the problem, I'm saying on the topic, she said, what is the problem? Why men and women cannot get along?
Yeah.
The problem, in my own conclusion, is this. If you're a woman, you want to be respected, respect yourself. If you're a man, you want to be respected, respect yourself. Most of the problems happen when others try to cheat others. I give you an example. For instance, a young man of 23 years old is dating a young girl of 21 years old, right? They both work in a Walmart, right? They're making the same amount of money. But this guy, knowing that the law, the unwritten law is that for a man to take care of a woman, right? So this guy, this little young man has been taking this girlfriend of his out, that they work in the same place, they make the same amount of money for the last 19 or 20 times. And all of a sudden, one day he said, babe, please, can you pay today? Because I don't have enough. Immediately he says that the problem sets in.
The relationship.
But now the girl will forget that the man has paid for the last 19 times, right? They were making the same amount of money, right? Now, one way, if the guy now says something that day that she paid, she will react a different way. Do you understand what I'm saying? In that situation now, the guy now look at it and man, the guy will say, you see what I'm saying? And then the guy's attitude might change a little. There comes a problem. In this situation now, whom do you blame? Right? So I'm not blaming women and I'm not blaming men. And my sister, I'm not saying the problem is men. I will never accept that the problem is men. You know? This is my conclusion.
Yeah, you said the women were the problem, so I just want to hear you say that's not a problem.
So now, this is what I'm saying is that men always look for peace. When you were speaking, you said, women are more peaceful. Women are not more peaceful. Women are the ones that start trouble. Men always look for peace. Because how many men in this world wants to sit with you and be chatting? Yeah. We don't have time for that.
A lot of men like doing that.
No, a lot of men.
They feel more of a man sometimes.
The only time a man would do that, I'm being real, is when the man feels like, if I don't back this woman up, I'm going to die. So men only react
pushed to the wall.
Yes, when a man is pushed to the wall. But if women can give men peace, because above all men want is just peace. If a man doesn't have money, you don't like him, leave him alone. Give him his peace. If he has money, you like him, give him his peace. But if women can give men peace, this world will be a better place. That's my conclusion. House of Commons, please. You people don't like this one.
Ladies? I have so much more to say. Ladies,
we're going to continue.
You know what? We're going to leave it to the viewers. If you want us to do a part 2 on this, you write about it, comment about it, we will surely do a part 2 on this. I know you're going to fire me, don't talk, but I just said my mind. Now, please, if they want to reach you on social media, how do they reach you?
Just Suraya Issa, or they can go Baifa Group or baifastores.com.
Okay, Suraya Issa or Baifa Group or baifastores.com.
Yeah.
VDD Val, Instagram.
Ola George, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can also check us out on our House of Commons Instagram. We have a new Instagram, we have a new Twitter, we have a new Facebook, as well as, subscribe, comment below.
Okay, my name is Pascal Atuma. Twitter, Pascal Atuma. Instagram, Pascal Atuma. Facebook. And I know I always receive letters from you guys on Facebook. Don't fire me on this one. This is real. Now,
fire him.
Okay, another thing. A lot of you guys keep sending me private messages saying, Pascal, why can't you guys keep producing every week? We've been carrying this show a long time from our pockets. Do you understand? We need help. So if you want to see better quality, if you want to see this place decorated, you want to see this scarf stacked, House of Commons, you want to see the scarves change, you want to see better lighting, you want us to remove all these shadows, you see shadows, right? Shadows is very easy to remove a shadow. I direct films. It's lighting. It's more lights, boom, boom, boom. You can counter the shadows, right? But we need support. So if you want us to keep giving you this show every week, improving the quality, bringing in more people, like we had Timmy in some series, we have had Rudy, now we have Suraya Issa. You can see that we're trying to bring in, we're going to be
different
perspectives, different people, different experiences, intelligent people that can give you what you need, because most of the things we're talking about here is what you guys want to tell to your, talk to your partners, is what you want to tell to your sisters, but you cannot say it, but they watch it and they will get the message. Okay, so donate. How do they donate to us?
Well, they can donate for us. They can also check in the description below. You can donate through PayPal. Just look right in the comments below, and it's where all the information is there. It's an easy one click.
Yeah. So, and if you're a millionaire out there, drop the money, and we can take this.
We accept debit cards, credit cards, checks.
Support us so that we can keep talking the things that you want us to talk about. House of Commons.
It's our pleasure to do this.
House of Commons. Yes.
Thank you.
Pleasure to do this. All these feminists on this. These are people.
House of Commons.
Feminists right here.